Hello and welcome to Katoria's Crafts. My name is Kat, your host, and today we're going to be working on this really pretty shell pattern that you can use for any size blanket, from a stroller all the way up to king size. It works up really quickly and it's so pretty and cozy. So we'll go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to use a little bit of a thinner yarn. This is a baby yarn, so this would be good for a stroller or a crib or even a floor blanket, receiving blanket, anything like that. So we're going to start with a basic slip notch and get everything started. Like always, I'm going to start with a slightly larger hook to give me a little bit of room for my chain, and we will go from there. So for a basic shell pattern, this one specifically, we're working in groups of 6. So for this, because we also do a row, and you can see it on the back a little bit better, of single crochets across the bottom, we're going to do multiples of 6. So we're going to go with 4, so 6, 12, 18, 24, plus 1, so that way we have our first single crochet in that stitch. So we're going to start out with chaining 25, and if you'd like to chain along or crochet along with me, absolutely do that. I will go ahead and make sure that we have timestamps in the description below, so that way you can pause as you need to or fast forward and work along with us. So we're going to go ahead and start that chain. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's going to be our first grouping. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So that's 4 times 6. And then we're going to add 1 chain for our first single crochet. And I'm going to switch hooks so that way I can work into these back loops. So we're going to turn our work, not count that first chain on the hook, or first chain from the hook. That's the single crochet, and we're going to work into this post or this loop here, and that is the wrong hook size. We're going to work into this one, and we're going to work all the way down these back ridges, all the way down. So yarn over and pull through 2, just all the way back down. So you're going to have 24 plus that chain on the hook, or once we're complete. So go into that back loop. This yarn is a little bit looser than what I am used to. Pull through 2. And that's why I use a larger hook than what I work the pattern with, just so that way I have a little bit of wiggle room whenever I am making that chain, so that my hook actually slips through a little bit easier. It also keeps it from kind of bunching up at the base. So just go into that back ridge, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. It keeps splitting on me, but as long as you make sure that you grab all of the threads in that piece of yarn, you will be okay, I promise. It will sometimes split on you. Just take your time. Make sure, like I know this one has 3 pieces of yarn, so I'm grabbing all 3 before I go in. And if you're ever wondering, if you just kind of roll the yarn against the grain, you can kind of count where those threads are, so that way you know how many it is that you need to pick up. And that's really, really helpful whenever you're doing certain kind of joins. If you're wanting to join 2 skeins of yarn, to know how many, so that way you have a better ability to get those to join together, especially if you're doing something like a Russian join, which we'll go into later. So into that back loop, pull up the loop and pull through 2. Go into that back ridge, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. Just about done. All right, almost there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go. So go under that ridge, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. Into that ridge, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. So this is our setup row. This gives us a real good base to start our fans or shells. This last one. All right, so now we have our 24 chains or 24 single crochets. And what we're going to do is we're going to start out the next row, so row 1 of the actual pattern, with a chain 3. And this is going to count as your first double crochet. And we're going to turn our work. So into that same stitch at the bottom of that double crochet or chain 3 space, we're going to work 2 more double crochets. So we're going to yarn over our hook. So now we have 2 on our 2 loops on our hook. Go into the base of that double crochet, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And we're going to do that again in the same one. So we're going to yarn over and have 2 loops on our hook, go into that bottom stitch, pull up 1 loop, so now you have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. And this is why I like having this base row, just so that it's a little easier to find your stitches, especially when you're starting out. So the next one that you're going to do is you're going to skip these 2 stitches here. So you're going to skip this hole, and in this third one, we're going to put a single crochet. And you'll see why in a little bit, but this is going to anchor that fan or that shell in place. So then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to skip these 2 and we're going to work a full shell stitch into this hole right here. So we're actually going to put 5 in that space. So we're going to yarn over. So you have 2 loops on your hook, and we're going to put 5 double crochets. So into that stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So there's your first one. We're going to do 4 more into that same stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. And we're just going to do that for 5 total double crochets. It's 3, 4, and 5. So now we have our first shell. We're going to skip 2 stitches. So this one here is where you were. So this first stitch, second, and we're going to go into this third. So we're going to do a single crochet to anchor it on this side as well. And we're going to skip 2 stitches and go into the third. So we're going to skip 1, skip 2, go into that third, making sure you get both pieces of the V on top. Yarn over and pull up a loop, and we're going to put 5 double crochets into that stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now that we have 5, we're going to skip the next 2 stitches and go into the third. So skip 1, skip 2, go into the third, and we're going to work a single crochet to anchor that fan. So it's stuck on both sides and it gives you this nice pretty shell. So we're going to skip the next 2, 1, 2, go into the third. So yarn over, insert your hook, and we're going to do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So again, we're going to skip 2 stitches, and we're going to put an anchor in this third one. So we're going to put that anchor in, and then we're going to put 3 double crochet in the last stitch, just like we had at the beginning. So that first chain counted as a double crochet plus 2. So you had 3 total double crochets, and we're going to put 3 double crochets in the end. So that is your first row. It looks a little bit off, but it will even out as you go up. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. So now we have the back of our first row. So into this first stitch, we want to offset these so that the shell is actually going from the middle of this to the middle of this. So we're going to put our anchor in first. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then we're going to skip these 2 stitches, and into the top of that single crochet that you put on the previous row, that's where we're going to work those 5 double crochets. So you're going to yarn over, go into that single crochet, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2, and we're going to work all 5 into that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So then we're going to anchor this one. So we're going to skip the next 2 stitches. We're going to go into the top of this previous shell, and we're going to work a single crochet. Yarn over, skip the next 2 stitches, and go into that single in the row before. And we're going to work our 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 stitches and work a single crochet to anchor into that top of that previous shell, and then yarn over and work into that next single crochet. So skip 2 and into this little valley that we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip 2 and put in our anchor single crochet, skip 2 and work our 5 double crochets into that previous single from the row before. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So then we're going to skip the next 2, kind of turn it a little bit because the top of that chain is a little hard to see. And you want to make sure you're getting the top of the actual chain, not into this gap here between. So you want to make sure you're grabbing the actual chain itself. And we're going to put a single crochet into that. So skip one, skip two, and then we're going to work into this one right here. Sorry, everything is in the way. So we're going to skip this one, and go into this chain right here. Like I said, it's a little bit hard to see. So 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to grab this side and go through and grab the other side as well. Helps if you turn it a little bit. Sometimes you might have to pull the yarn up, kind of stretch it out a little bit so you can see it better. And pull it back and you can kind of see that V a little better. Two, 3 pieces of yarn and into all right, one side and the other. There we go. Yarn over and just put a single crochet in here. And we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Make sure they're a little bit loose so you have a little bit of room. As you can see, they're already squared up that side. It's not kind of laying over any longer. So we're going to do the 2 double crochets like we did before. So this counts as 1. We're going to do 2 more at the base of the stitch. So yarn over and into the bottom of that chain. We're going to do 2 more. So it's 1 and 2. And then we're going to skip the next 2 and anchor into the top of that previous shell and just put a single crochet. Yarn over and work 5 double crochets into the next single. So skip these 2 and we're going to work into that one. So 2 loops on the hook, pull up 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to skip the next 2 and we're going to go into this chain here, the top of that previous shell, and work your single crochet. Skip the next 2 and go in 5 more into that single crochet space at the base of where you anchored previously. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 and work your single crochet. Skip 2 and work 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to skip 2 and work our last anchor. Skip 2 and into the top of that double crochet or that single crochet that's there, we're going to work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So this is a really simple 2-row repeat. So we're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Work a single crochet into the bottom of that stitch or bottom of that chain, and then work your 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to slip into the top of that previous shell and anchor, and then work in your next shell in that single crochet from the row before. 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2, work a single crochet, skip 2, and work your next shell, 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2 and work a single crochet into the top of that previous shell. Skip 2 and work 5 doubles into that next single crochet. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 and work into the top of that previous chain for your single crochet, and you just keep going up. So the next row we would do 3 double crochets, chain 1, 5 double crochets, chain 1, 5 double crochets, chain 1, 5 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Chain 3, turn your work, work 2 more double crochets into that same stitch. Skip 2 stitches, single crochet with start your double crochet after you skip 2 into that single. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 2, and a single crochet. There it is. Skip 2 and 5 doubles. 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 2, work into that top of the previous shell, skip 2 and into that single crochet. We're going to do your shell, so 5 more double crochets. 4 and 5. Skip 2 and work your single crochet. Skip 2 and into the top of this one we're going to work 3 doubles. That's 1, 2, and 3. So there's a couple of ways that you can finish a shell blanket like this. This is always pretty to have this nice rippled edge. If you're going to put a border around, you can do shells all the way down along the bottom and back up the other side, and it would match all the way around. If you want it a little bit more square like we have at the bottom, we can go ahead and fill in these gaps like I did on this one here. So it's flat at the bottom and flat up at the top. So I'll show you how to fill those in as well. So we're going to go ahead and fill this in. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And then into the top or the bottom of this stitch that you're in already, we're going to slip stitch. So to do that, you go into that hook like you're going to do a single crochet. And when you pull up a loop, you're not going to leave it on the hook. You're going to go ahead and go right through that single crochet chain that you had on there. So this next one, you're going to work a single crochet. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. This next one, we're going to work a half double. So yarn over, go into that stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3. The next one, we're going to work 1 double crochet. So now you're at the base of that anchor. So we're going to go into that single crochet and do a double crochet. This next one we're going to do a half double, so yarn over into that and then pull through all 3. Then we're going to do a single, so pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both, then another slip stitch at the top, so pull through both loops when you yarn over, then a single, pull up a loop, pull through both, half double, so yarn over, so you have 2, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that's going to put you back at that anchor single crochet, so you're going to do a double, pull through 2, and pull through 2, back to a half double, pull up your loop, and pull through all 3, single crochet, slip stitch, so insert your hook and pull through everything that's on your hook. Another single. It's kind of like a roller coaster, just back up and down over these. So that was a half double, then a double, then a half double, a single, a slip stitch, a single, a half double, a double crochet. Oh, that was a half double. I'll go back through, have 2 on again. Now we do the half double, a single, and that brings us up to the top of this. We're going to go into that chain, and we're going to do a slip stitch if I don't pull it off. And that finishes the edge. So now it's square across the top and square across the bottom. Like I said, you don't have to put this border on if you don't want it to be square along the top. It just gives it a nice clean look if you're not putting stitches all the way around or shells all the way around. So that's it. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, definitely click the thumbs up and don't forget to leave a comment below. Absolutely hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell so that you get notifications for all of my upcoming videos. Thanks so much for joining. Have a great day.